All right. Welcome back to another dimension. I'm Quinn.
I'm Trask.
I'm Taylor.
Happy Friday, Taylor.
Happy Friday.
We are recording on a Friday.
We're
That's
recording
weird.
on Friday because we slacked off all week.
You can tell the energy is different, though, today. Because it's Friday.
Because we're worn out.
I was going the other way. But, see, fuel prices are down?
Fuel prices are
First time in 3 weeks. They're not down overall, but they're down in 3 weeks.
3 cents.
It's still a big number. Yeah.
Times 100 gallons.
Yeah. It's $3.
Big, huge savings.
You could almost buy another gallon.
You could almost, yes, that is true.
I had a buddy in college that we used to get. Was it Fleet Farm that used to give out the
4 cents?
3 cents off?
Yep.
Okay. So he would drive all across town to do that. He
My
never
wife does
understood
that, too.
that he was spending
So do I.
more money and using more gas to
My wife does it.
She
It's
does
the biggest freaking pet peeve of mine. So not only does she do it for gas, I can say this because we don't fight about it, but she knows it bugs me.
It's out there.
Yeah. She not only does it for gas, she will drive across town to save. Ken does it too, but to save 3 cents a gallon, and you spend 30 minutes.
Right.
You have a 20-gallon tank.
Yeah.
You're saving 60 cents.
Maybe she's got all the time in the world.
No, she doesn't.
And she wants to sightsee.
Here, she also does it. She'll go to Target because she needs to get cheap diapers.
Yeah.
Well, when you go to Target, what else do you buy? Everything. My kids have more shoes than they know what they need to do with. And why don't you just go to Walgreens? Well, they're $3 more. Well, it's going to be $100 cheaper. You know what I mean?
And you guys have a Walgreens and gas station
It's a block and a half
close to
away.
your house.
Yeah. No, we'll drive to another town to go save $3 on a thing of diapers. Sorry, rant
Maybe
over.
she's got a
I feel
boyfriend
better.
over there.
Maybe she might.
Good for you,
Good
Becca.
for her.
Yeah.
Hopefully she does.
I support
Hopefully she's got some
the
land and a
travel.
cottage up north. Yeah.
All over $3.
Oh my gosh.
Relax.
I'm over it now.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me vent.
Yeah.
But
She
no,
could take the dog for a walk to Walgreens.
Right. It'd be awesome. Yeah. Maybe that thing would sleep too. But anyway,
That's pretty
I
good.
digress.
The problems you may have had a hand in creating.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good problems. Actually, great problems.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It could have been way worse. It could be way worse. I mean, thankfully we're able to do that, right? But anyway, moving on before I get in trouble.
I'm just going to sit back and watch this one.
Broker transparency is back in the news.
It is.
How do you feel? What is it?
Let's get right after it, I guess.
Pitter patter?
So freight brokers are obviously people who have customers who have freight, and they broker third party to carriers like ourselves. And they charge one thing, they pay another. I mean,
Get paid off the spread.
that's called business. And there's a debate and, hard feelings because truckers with the trucks feel that brokers are skimming too much off the top and taking too much money. And brokers are saying, well, it's our right to earn a living. And so I think OIDA, the Owner Operators Independent Drivers Association, is pushing to have broker transparency. And
Can I ask a question?
yeah,
One, why does it matter? And two, if you don't like it, why don't you do something else?
I agree with that. I agree with that. I've always looked at, I look at brokers a couple ways. Keep in mind, we also are a broker,
Tongue in cheek.
federally regulated broker.
Federally regulated. I was wondering if you're going to bring
But
that
we don't operate as a broker. We just have the authority. But yeah, I mean, I've always looked at brokers as there's some really, really dirty, ugly ones that
used car salesman brokers.
They have no idea what they're doing.
Yep.
TQL comes to mind. They hire green kids out of college that have no idea about transportation, and they're just buy low, sell high, or buy what? Yeah, no, whatever. Make a dollar.
Right. They're the ones that were calling us about our truck posted in Kaukauna for a load in Ludington, Michigan.
Yeah, there's a lake in between
look at the map.
here in Michigan. But that's just one negative example. But there's a lot of positive examples. Like, I also have looked at brokers as an extension of us. Like, they're our sales team.
Right.
And if they're making a profit, good for them.
Yeah. Because they're also helping us make a profit.
Yeah. And if we agree and can operate at the costs that we agree upon,
right,
what's the problem with it?
Right.
If they're making 50%, well,
good for them.
We could operate at that level. Nobody's complaining about the markup on shoes or the markup on food or.
Right. Well, people are complaining about food prices, but yeah,
you know what I mean. Then don't buy it.
But
don't pay it.
If you here's a good real life example. If you think the prices for a restaurant are too expensive and you keep going there,
yeah,
that's your fault.
You're enabling that.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's the same thing. Find a different broker.
Right.
There's thousands of them out there.
Right. And we can't possibly. I mean, we travel the U.S. Like, we can't possibly have a salesperson in every state, city that we go to.
No.
So that's where we go to the brokers, and we use them as an extension of us.
They're a relationship.
Yeah, we have a lot of great relationships with some of them. Are some of them dirty? Absolutely. But then it's your decision if you're going to work with them or not.
100%.
So back to the transparency. I probably get ridiculed for this, but I don't see the need for it or it's their right. And it's your right to make that decision.
Right. Profit isn't a dirty word.
Right. There's other so what somebody's going to say is, okay, all these brokers are brokering this freight for $1 a mile, and all these, we're just going there, the foreigners that don't speak English are going to haul it because they don't know any better.
Addressed.
Right. That's all being addressed. There's always a bigger picture. So I don't know. What's your thought on broker transparency? I just don't. It is what it is. Like, I don't think it's not my right to know what they're getting paid.
Do you know how much your iPhone costed to be made?
Probably less than $1,000 that I paid for it.
Right. Do you care about that?
No, because I wanted it. Right?
That's my thought. Mm-hmm. I understand there's two sides to every story, three sides, whatever. Do I agree that, hey, there are some instances where there may be gouging taking place? Yeah. But if you've been in the industry long enough, you kind of know where those areas are.
There's two things that we never talked about growing up: politics and money. It was not my business how much money you make. Mm-hmm. It's not nobody's business.
Right.
In my opinion, that's just the way I was brought up. So I guess that's my just my stance on it.
I don't see a need for it. I mean, seeing both sides of it, and I think anyone sitting, seeing both sides of it. Do you win on some loads that you broker? Yeah, but you also lose on a lot of them.
Well, and what about the relationship? What about the past groundwork that was laid? What
the
about
time you spend nurturing the relationship, going to visit people, going to do all of these
understanding
things.
The customer's business.
Yeah.
Like, then you could also say, well, the shipping guy, which kind of does that job as well, or shipping person.
Right.
Should you know what they make as a living?
No.
Right? If you're paying that guy $50,000 a year, he's doing the same thing as that broker, in theory, finding carriers.
Yeah. It's just like shipping prices, if you think about it. Like freight prices, like it's the last thing that someone can complain about. Mm-hmm. Oh, the brokers are taking too much money. Mm-hmm. Oh, trucking's costing too much money. I just need something to complain about because I'm sad and miserable.
Well, what's going to happen? Let's just say, all right, you're hauling this load and you're content and you're at $3 a mile, whatever it is. Now you see that the broker was making $6. Okay. So they're getting 50% more, 100%, whatever it is, doubling their money. Are you then going to say, I'm not doing that? Because I don't think there's any regulation that says they can only charge 10% or 50%.
Well, there is a regulation that if someone asks, I think that the law that they proposed a while ago said that if someone asked, they had to see it, but there was a loophole where you had to make them come to your office to see the.
So then you see it.
Right.
Now what?
It's over.
Oh my God, you just made $1,000 on me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I lost $1,500 last week.
It's a waste of time.
Right. Yeah. Because there's times, I mean, holidays don't change shipping schedules. They do in an oversized thing, but you have to cram 5 or 6 days worth of work into 4 or 5 days worth of work. You still got to get that stuff done. And a lot of times that comes at a cost. And what does that cost come out of? No one talks about that.
Right. They're not going back to the customer and getting more.
And now you don't get to get your jumper out to where you got to go or whatever. And now you have all those wasted miles. Okay, yeah, I may have made 1,000, but in the grand scheme, we lost 1,200.
Or if that broker has a contracted rate.
Yeah.
Like we have a situation like that.
Yeah.
And
it's got to
get covered. Like you said, holidays, it's got to get covered.
Right.
You might lose money on that.
Right.
I can't believe we're sitting here defending brokers. It's not really my typical stance, but I don't see I think it's a waste of breath talking about
I'm defending free trade.
There you go.
That's what I'm defending. I don't. If
Free
you don't like it,
enterprise.
move on. Yeah. If you don't like it, move on. If you need something to complain about, watch the news.
And those complaining don't have the means to go out and get that business because number one, either they don't have the capacity for it, they don't have the consistency for
The
it,
insurance,
the insurance, yeah, all kinds of stuff.
There's a lot of things.
People can complain about anything.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I don't know that it matters.
Right. Yeah. Well, that was the longest in the news segment I think we've ever done.
I'm kind of passionate about that one. Like it just
poke the bear a little.
Whatever.
It's a good thing. I like it.
Hop into a safety topic quick. Then we got a shout out someone special this week,
yeah.
and then we'll hop into our main topics. Safety this week. Expect the unexpected, and I say that in regard to there was a crane collapse yesterday down in Merritt Island, Florida, June 5th. 2 people lost their lives. It's sad, but they didn't go to work thinking, hey, they probably have been doing this forever. They didn't go to work thinking this crane is going to fail and we're going to be working in 50-mile-an-hour winds and it's going to collapse. Now, are we always in situations when we're on the road of a big crawler crane or whatever that may be? No, but if you bring that back down to real life examples, it could be anything. I didn't think hopping out of the truck to put my triangles out, there was going to be a car that close or whatever.
Alden hit a deer last night.
Right. And all of those things, they call them accidents for a reason, but expect the worst when it comes to safety and yourself and try to think about everything that could happen.
Well, a little bit on that story too. They were working in 50-mile-an-hour winds, right?
Yeah, and I don't necessarily know if the crane was working in 50-mile-an-hour winds or if they were working and then it collapsed onto them.
Yeah. So,
but the crane was definitely up.
There might have been a little bit of common sense there that maybe they shouldn't have been doing that.
Yeah,
I don't know the entire story.
Yeah, and I don't know if the wind was actually the cause of it either because OSHA hasn't released that yet. But it was just a way to tie everything in. And sadly, 2 people aren't going to work today or seeing their family,
Yeah, that sucks.
It's horrible. But expect the unexpected.
Special shout out to a kid. A kid, we'll call him.
The kid?
We can call him the kid.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Aiden We's 16-year-old kid.
The kid.
Number 25 sport truck, races WIR, races a bunch of different tracks around the area. 16-year-old kid gets up at like 3 or 4 in the morning, goes to Pierce to work, goes to school to fund his racing addiction. Yeah. And he then goes and works on his car and or on his truck and races. And it was just, we're one of his sponsors, and he does a tremendous job on social media.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see today's day and age, a younger kid chasing something he wants and willing to work for it.
Yeah.
There's probably not many of us listening that want to get up at 3 in the morning, go to work,
16,
go to school, and then
probably just going to bed.
well, right.
Yeah.
So that says something.
Yeah.
So Aiden's Weir's Racing, number 25,
Yeah.
sport trucks.
We appreciate the tags and updates.
Get
and
out and
everything,
watch
so-
them, support them.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Ask him
Aiden,
for his autograph. He'll probably be famous someday.
Do we have a picture of his car that
Yeah,
I can
absolutely.
put up?
Yeah.
We'll
Absolutely.
put it up right now.
Yeah, we can.
Absolutely.
No, it's really cool, and I think he's doing the social media, keeping everyone updated, and we like watching the journey. So keep it up.
Yep.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, Quinn with Quick Transport here. We are looking for a few drivers. We have a few empty trucks right now. If flatbedding or driving for Quick Transport interests you, give us a call, 920-764-4665. Thanks for watching.
All right.
Wait, why are you defeated already?
I'm not defeated. I've reached my. I've.
Sounded like you just crossed the line of a race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't sleep last night.
I've been sick for
I slept like crap.
almost a
I
week.
had a house full of 14-year-old kids. First day of summer, screaming in the background at volume 35.
Were they the ones running through my backyard last night?
No.
There were
I
like
hope
How do you know?
20 of them.
No.
And then they're standing in the front yard. My dogs
Yeah.
are going crazy. Kids
Yeah.
sleeping.
Yeah. No. It's just,
I came outside and they're like, "Are you gonna call the cops?"
Yeah.
I said, "No, just go somewhere else." It was so funny though.
Yeah.
There was another to me, a big story in the history of trucking this week. If you're bored and want something to do, look it up. Yoyo Warley. She was a kind of I don't want to say American icon, but like a trucking legend, if you will. Free spirit. She, I believe, ran in the 1979 big rig race at Atlanta Motor Speedway. I think
race
she did
semis?
110 miles an hour, something like that.
Really?
But she unfortunately passed away. But there's all kinds of stuff on YouTube
cool.
and social media about her.
Yeah.
Was just a huge advocate for trucking and really kind of personified the lifestyle of I'm just going to go out and do my thing.
So I've never seen a picture of this, nor have I heard about her until today.
Yeah.
But I picture her. Let me see if I can paint this picture.
His girlfriend?
Yeah. Cigarette hanging out of her mouth, probably a big old cup of coffee.
Probably.
Curly, like used to be blonde, but is now cigarette stained blonde hair.
No, I think she had like longer brown hair.
Oh, okay.
Cowgirl hat.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably drove all the boys crazy back in the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of a cool story ahead of her time. Maybe paved the way for women in trucking. I don't
awesome.
know, but
It's 79
check it out.
too.
She had pretty sweet trucks.
Yeah. How did she get into it? Do you know?
I don't.
I
don't
wonder
know
if
the
like her
complete
dad
history.
or something was a trucker or something, and that's how she got into it.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's
But
cool.
if you're bored and want to see some cool
I'll
stuff,
look it up.
check her out.
Let's talk about some not cool stuff.
Okay.
Sanjay Singh, 23 years in prison for basically
Stealing
Bernie
people's money.
Madoffing $158 million worth of people's money. Also in Florida, I think it was Merritt Island.
Really?
Yeah, it's random. But he owned Royal Bingle Logistics, which claimed to be doing millions of dollars a month in revenue. And
Any idea how many trucks they had? Allegedly?
No,
Okay.
I don't. But he was just sentenced 23 years in prison. He was targeting immigrants, mostly Haitian Americans, people that had moved here starting a new life, and promising them the world by buying into his company that would give them double-digit returns on their investment. 2,000-ish people, they think over 2,000 people invested in this, attributing to the $158 million that he Ponzi schemed. And everyone lost everything.
About 80 grand a person.
Yeah, give or take. And the number is only growing with how many people invested. But he was targeting immigrants and all of those kind of things, promising these double-digit investments when the company that they were investing in was actually losing money every month.
Because he was spending it.
No, it was even before that.
Oh.
So then they caught him. In his statement, he said he used most of the money to refurbish his house. He bought some luxury cars, including some like one-of-a-kind Mercedes, and then was day trading stocks.
Yeah.
And now he'll be spending 23 years in
Good.
prison. I agree. But that brings up another point. these schemes seem to happen, whether it is investments or predatory leases or whatever they may be in trucking, a lot.
Yeah.
Why?
People are vulnerable, and maybe it's easy.
You're gonna say.
Maybe it's easy to put on a good show and say, "Hey, you know, you could have this." I don't know. I mean, the predatory lease thing. We've created this idea. I mean, look, I fell into it, right? Like, hey, I want to own my own truck.
Yeah, but you didn't lease one.
I didn't lease one, right? But there's big companies enabling people to lease purchase their trucks in a no-win situation.
Think about that though. Like, do you really think there's good leases out there? I believe that.
Absolutely.
But those companies resell those trucks. They redo everything. They're in business to make money. They're not in business to lose money.
Right.
So maybe we should demand OIDA to see how much money they make on their leases.
Sure. You know, if you advertise, hey, this lease purchase, and like you said, their intention is to resell that truck 5 times.
Yeah.
But you give the person. I mean,
The allure
we've had I can't even tell you how many people come into my office and say, "Will you lease purchase? I want to buy a truck." And I'm like, I have actually a sheet written out. I'm not going to have a conversation with you about not getting a check. I'm not going to have a conversation with you about not having enough money to fix this. And I go right down the line.
Right.
And do you still think this is a good idea? Oh yeah. And I literally try to talk them out of it.
When you boil it all down, company guys make more than any lease operator.
100%. With zero risk.
Zero risk.
Yeah.
We have that risk. But kind of digressing there. It's just the industry allows it.
Yes. And has created that.
I mean, look at the double broker schemes and the stolen beef heist. I wonder if they ever found that beef. But
I hope not. Who's going to eat it?
Maybe they put it in the freezer.
Maybe.
But all of those things happen. It is a big industry. So there are things that are going to happen.
It's just one industry we look at. I mean,
right.
Think of construction or
there's
all kinds of stuff.
Look at how much stuff goes missing on the job sites and ends up on eBay or wherever that may be, or in your garage, and now you got a new set of tools or whatever. It all happens. I don't want to say, hey, it's part of business, but you're always going to have a bad apple that ruins it, right?
You know, and I don't know where we're going with this, but Ken and I had this conversation the other day. It's like, you have to trust your people. We pay by the hour, and we don't monitor it. Like, if you tell me this is what you work, then I believe you.
Yep.
That's the relationship we have. Until you give me a reason not to trust you or believe you, that's the route I always try to take.
Yeah.
You know, obviously you can get jaded on certain situations, but you have to trust your people. And unfortunately, as you said, there's some people that are bad apples, and you know, if that situation arises, you have to take care of it.
100%. Yeah, it sucks. Moving on to other crappy things in the industry. You hear what's going on out in New Jersey? Do you know what that's what Delaware?
That's what Delaware.
A brand new
Jersey.
Yeah.
Just like Rogers.
Yeah. Oh. Steelers. Never mind. Never mind. We have a Steelers fan that works here.
Is he excited about this?
Probably.
Who's the Steelers fan?
Ken.
Ken's from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he's from out there.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll pick his brain.
But anyway. Yeah, New Jersey.
New Jersey fuel scandal.
Yeah. $3.4 million worth of fuel was stolen. Do you want to know how?
I do want to know how, but do you want to know how much that is?
$3.4 million worth.
Right, about 1 million gallons at $3.40 a gallon.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's mind blowing.
Wow. Wow.
Do you know how many tanker loads that is?
Probably 158.
There you go.
154.
158.
15,000. You can do 6,500 in tanker.
60. Yeah, you
Yeah.
listened.
Yeah, there you go. 158.
Perfect. 158 loads of fuel were stolen in New Jersey and resold.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily know if that 158 is true because tankers weren't going in to get the fuel.
That's the equivalent value.
Yes. 158. That's a lot.
And how'd they do it?
Credit card skimmers, which I don't know a lot about, but I believe they're trying to circumvent these with the new tap to pay or the phone pays and those kind of things. Because what I know a credit card skimmer to be is it attaches to where you were to old school insert your card. And while you insert your card, it basically clones the information on it and stores it so they can come back the next day or a week after they get a bunch of information to
Or go elsewhere.
right. Download it onto their computer and clone a card. So they're using these skimmers. I don't know where, but it was 25 people were indicted, going to prison. 4 companies were involved, and they were retrofitting their vehicles. So I don't know if they were putting in like, which brings into a whole nother we'll get into, but they retrofitted like an old ice cream truck that had just a big auxiliary fuel tank in the back. So I don't know if they were like pretending to go fill up and then just pumping more gas into this auxiliary tank or what.
You can see it on YouTube. They bust them. Like a part of these guys.
Oh, really?
They bust at the gas station, and they have a big white van that they're pumping fuel into the back. And the kid turns around, and the cops are standing there, and you should see the look on his face. But I'm almost positive this is the same. It was, you said 25 people. I'm sure they had multiple vehicles doing this, but there is footage of one of them or 2 of them at the gas station.
What I
getting
don't
caught.
understand is there's safeguards in place for that type of thing, I believe in the form of, like, on our fuel cards, we can at the max get $1,000 a day. Right. So if you steal my card and I already put in, and maybe that didn't matter to them, maybe that was their game. They could only get what was left on that card. But I would think that would draw a red flag. Also, a lot of pumps you can only get so much. So maybe they were fueling at bulk. Were they at bulk terminals? Who knows?
I don't know, but I remember. I don't think a bulk terminal is going to fill up a retrofitted ice cream truck. Like,
I think
unless
some
he's got
of those
those
are. I think
gumball
some of those
snow
are
cones, I don't know.
unmanned.
Yeah, maybe. I guess. I don't know where, but there wouldn't be card skimmers there.
No, but I think you check in with your ID card or your whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
And it's charged back to, let's just say
XYZ company.
Quick Trip bought this fuel.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
The way these guys were doing it in the video is I don't know the details, but they were swiping it, but then nothing was getting charged. And that's how the attendant inside knew. He was like, okay, that guy's been getting fuel for 45 minutes.
Right.
And there's no charge. There was no charge coming through.
Huh.
So I don't know. It had something to do with the skimmers, but essentially they say all this fuel leaving the gas station, but no charge was coming through. And then they called the police, and then they got nailed.
But $3.4 million or 1 million gallons, that's a lot.
Yeah, where do you put that, and how do you pedal it? Like,
Well,
and
if you said there
one-
were 4 companies involved, maybe if they had a fleet of vehicles or trucks or ships, who knows?
Maybe.
Right out,
I mean,
right
being
out to
out
the
east,
dock.
it could have been tied to the
Garbage
mob.
trucks.
Yeah.
One big warehouse.
Cement companies. Yeah.
That's all you need.
But yeah, I mean, it just seems unfathomable when you start to think about it. When I know how much fuel we go through in a week because of reports and stuff, and it's just like, holy cow! Like, are they going to the truck stop and peddling it? And one, have you ever been offered like suspicious fuel or anything?
I have not.
No.
No.
What would you do if someone came up to you and says, "Hey, man, I got some grade A diesel."
I wouldn't. No way. Because you don't know. I'm not going to put that in my truck.
Right.
Not because. I shouldn't say that.
Not because it's
it was stolen. Because I don't know that. But I don't know what it is. I don't know what's in
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Is it going to
You
wreck
don't know
my
if you
truck?
put 50% water in
Yeah.
that just
Yeah.
to mess with
Yeah.
you. Like,
Yeah.
who knows? It's like the guys that try
But that
to-
stuff happens. You hear about it.
Yeah. They probably weren't peddling it like that. They had an outlet for it.
Or a company that, like a crane company, that they had to fill up their dump trucks or whatever at night or whatever.
Sure.
It's just, I don't understand it.
Think about that. That's a cool business idea. You would go,
You wanna steal
you'd fill
gas?
up. Well, let's just say you've got a straight truck, fuel truck, right? And you're able to fill that up. And then at night you're going and filling up heavy equipment, let's just say. and then just sending them the bill. I mean, they could have done that.
There are refueling companies.
Yeah,
I mean, just like
100%.
mobile wash companies.
I mean,
and
we
stuff.
could have Country Visions come here and fill our trucks every weekend if we wanted.
Yeah. Maybe we should,
I mean, they go right out to the
Hopefully.
field and fill up the tractors.
hopefully they listen to our podcast and
Country
maybe they start
Visions?
stealing fuel. We get it half the price.
Oh, Brett's their fuel guy. He's been there forever. Come on over, Brett.
But yeah, they found 500 clone cards when they busted these people across 4 companies. And why don't you put
That effort into something
meaningful?
else. Yes.
Yeah, not crime related.
Well,
I mean,
the easy way out, I guess.
but there again,
But it's also the easy way into big house.
right. Yeah, is it worth
Big risk, or what do they say? Big reward, but big risk type.
high
thing or
risk, high
something?
reward?
Yeah, high risk. Sorry.
But
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry. Do the math here, quick.
I brought my calculator.
Calculator.
What do you got?
$3.4 million worth of fuel was stolen.
Yep.
That's what it was worth. That doesn't mean that's what they sold it for. So let's
Well,
just
if there
say,
was transparency,
yeah, wait, get on that. If there was, let's just say that was 2.5 million.
yeah,
You divide that by 25 people involved.
yeah,
It's 100 grand a piece. Like, that's not enough for me
to go to
to
prison.
want to go to prison for even a week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wouldn't last in there.
Those people can't work in normal society, though.
I understand that, but like,
If it wasn't fuel,
are you really going to risk time of your life being free for 100 grand?
Yeah, because that's what my dad did. Yep. I'm
Yeah.
just saying. I'm willing to bet a majority.
For a
of them
minute there, I
don't.
thought your dad did.
No.
That's
No.
what I was. Yeah, that's what I was looking.
was-
I'm
I
like,
was
your
like-
dad was at the paper mill.
So you want to hear a funny thing about my dad and fuel and cops? So one time, like when credit cards were fairly new, he's not super technologically advanced even still, but still, he got fuel, forgot to put the credit card in, filled up, came home, and then like an hour later, like 3 squad cars pulled into our driveway looking for him, and it was an obviously misunderstanding, but he kind of had something similar happen to me. He stole fuel at one point.
See, it was your dad.
I haven't stole fuel, but forgot to put my car in park at the gas station one time.
How many times?
Twice.
Tell that story, Trask. You just
Yeah,
you just
you can't-
dropped
at
it
a
out
gas
there.
station.
Yeah, you can't
It was
bring
at a
that
gas
up.
station. I was still in high school. I stopped at Van Zeeland's gas station in Little Chute every morning to pick up a pack of Wrigley's wintergreen gum, the 25-cent packs back in the day where you got 5 pieces. Like, I don't know, an energy drink of some sort, and I could do $2 crosswords because I was 18. And I'd get like 5 of them. I'd scratch them off during class, right? And all of a sudden I'm in there, and the guy's name is Ryan. I still see Ryan from time to time. He goes, "Do you hear that noise?" I'm like, "Yeah, what is that?" And it is just a screeching. I'm like, "What the heck?" So I'm like looking around. I get paid. I walk out, and I never put my car in park. And my car was just pinned up against the building, just squealing tires.
I was gonna ask, what stopped it?
The building.
No, that's good. If it's gonna hit anything.
Same building, twice.
Twice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do
So-
they have your picture on the wall?
No.
I would. Yes.
I walked back in, and I'm like, "That was my car." He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "I forgot to put it in park, and it was up against the building, just squealing tires." No damage to anything, and he just kind of laughed, and he's been there forever. But yeah, so that's my gas station story. You have a gas station
Twice?
story?
No.
I do. It's embarrassing.
Actually, my new truck.
Yeah.
If I open the door, it'll automatically go into park. It annoys the hell out of me. I'm sure I can turn it off, but yeah.
Mine won't do that, but every time I forget to take my keys out, like if I'm just running in someplace, truck's on and I leave my keys in there, it beeps 4 times, like really obnoxiously loud.
The other thing it does is the parking sensors, if you will. If I get too close to something,
Puts the brakes on.
yeah, like
Mach 5,
harshly.
yeah.
Yes.
I'm
Yep.
pulling into my driveway and like I'm going like 2 miles an hour faster than it wants me to. Once I get to my garage door, I've slammed my head on the wheel so hard because it just stops.
Yeah.
I hate it.
My
Hate it.
my truck doesn't do that, thankfully, but Becca's van does, and when we back it into the garage, same thing. If you get too close, it just stops. I still got to go.
I wish my daughter's car did.
Really.
Well,
So Now you guys know a
She hit
little bit
my
about-
trailer.
I feel bad for the person that bought my car. All the front end damage and whatever. The 99 Satron.
I think they knew what they were getting into.
Driver's side door didn't work either.
I think they knew what they were
But
getting into. When they
anyway,
bought it.
what else? I mean, here's another thing negatively impacting the trucking industry.
You hitting buildings?
Well, no. Yeah. But the fuel theft, like, is it negatively
Yeah,
impacting it,
but-
or is it just, are we...
Well, there was talk about fuel shortages. I don't know if that has any effect on it. Probably
Right.
doesn't. It's minuscule. But yeah, our industry does not have the greatest reputation. But we, us are very proud to be in it.
Yeah,
And we're proud
I
of the
love
people
it.
we work with. We're proud of the people that listen to this. I think it's still a rewarding career and industry, and I'm not saying there's nowhere else I'd rather be, because I don't know, I could probably
Yes, Timmy'd rather be on a beach.
be a bartender on a beach or something.
Yeah.
But our industry's it's dynamic, it's rewarding, and I love it.
I love the constant change. There are things that are monotonous about it, but it's different every day.
There's some dirty situations that we've been in, and I will be in it again. There's a lot of vultures out there. There's a lot of bad publicity, as we're talking about today.
Right.
But the world runs on trucking and logistics, and thank you to all who are involved in it.
Yeah, thanks to everyone that's listening.
And if you got any cheap fuel, bring it on over.
Yeah. Country Visions. Like, subscribe, and share. We grew over 100 subscribers this past month.
Like 20%. Yeah, 20%.
Yeah. It was our biggest month of growth ever, so thank you. We'll continue to do it. You can find us on Apple Podcast. Spotify had a mind fart there. And YouTube, obviously. If you have anything that you'd like us to cover, reach out. If you're in the industry as either a driver or industry professional or local business owner,
If you have a question, we'll attempt
yeah,
to
absolutely.
answer it.
Yeah, we're not going to be professionals by any means.
And
but
as always, if you are in the area,
Stop in.
The invitation is out there.
preferably Monday mornings. Those are the worst days here, I think.
There's not
So,
a whole lot to see here, but you can grab a Mountain Dew and a bag of chips or something.
Sit in the
Right?
seats, feel cool.
Yeah.
That they see on.
Well,
you know,
we're going to start putting in a mission for that to get into here. So, but anyway, no, yeah, stop in and we enjoy it. Give us something to talk about.
Yeah.
See you next week.
See you next week.